There's nothing too hard for God. There's nothing He cannot change or undo. He is the creator and originator of whatever you see. All were made through Him and by Him, and all the things of nature you see are sustained by Him. There is a God who works in every circumstance and situation. Your problem is nothing to Him. It cannot stop Him, because there is nothing too difficult for Him. He is the giver of solution. He is Jesus. The Bible reveals the mighty works He did, showing that He is the God of impossibility. We will consider some of the mighty works of God as recorded in the Holy Book. Let us start from Jesus turning water to wine. He is God that can make something out of nothing and make the impossible possible. There was a lack, but through what was available, He made possible what was lacking. In the book of John 2, something extraordinary happened. At that wedding, the wine was finished while the wedding was still on. It could have caused shame to the bride and the groom. But Jesus was there. He stepped in and turned their story around from finished wine to sweet wine. From water, they got wine through the help of Jesus. Jesus took away shame from that wedding in Cana and provided sweet wine better than the first wine for all the guests. This is mysterious, miraculous, and powerful. And it stood from that day until now and will still stand in generations to come as a revelation of the God of impossibility. Abraham and Sarah also witnessed the hand of impossibility in the book of Genesis 21, verse 1 through 8. God promised them a son. Time passed by. Abraham was very old, and so was Sarah. Who would have dared told Abraham that someday he would have a child? But the Lord was good to them and kept His promise. And at the exact time, Sarah had a son. This happened when Abraham was 100 years old, and Sarah was well past the age of having children. She was worn out. From the weak organs, He gave light and life, and they were able to have their child and raise him to a great and mighty man. Scientifically, menopause is an end to menstruation, and this starts between the ages of 40 to 58. Estrogen levels starts to fall. This reduces the chance of becoming pregnant. Sarah was far past, but God did the impossible, broke the rules of science, and gave them a child regardless of their age. With little, He feeds multitude, feeding 5,000 people, which was recorded in the book of John 6, verse 1 through 15. It was recorded that they ate all they wanted, and there were 12 baskets filled with what was left over from the 5 barley loaves. This is unbelievable in the hearts of men. But there was a God of impossibility involved, and from 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, He fed thousands of people. You must trust God with the little you have. Believe He can breathe life on the little, and plenty would come of it. If the boy had held onto his little, he would have not received 12 baskets to carry home. After this, Jesus' disciples went down to the lake. They got into the boat and started across for Capernaum. He had not come to them, and a strong wind made the water turbulent. When they had rowed for 5 or 6 kilometers, they saw Jesus walking on the water. He kept coming closer to the boat. His disciples were afraid. John 6, verse 16 through 21. He also commanded the storm. In the book of Luke 8, verse 22 through 25. Jesus and His disciples got into the boat, and He said, "Let us cross over the lake." While they were sailing, He went to sleep. Suddenly a strong wind struck the lake, and the boat started sinking. They did all they could to stop the boat from sinking, because they were in danger and about to drown. Jesus was sleeping. They went over and woke him up. He woke up and commanded the wind and the waves to stop. They obeyed him. These are miracles that Jesus did, and they stood out in history, a symbol of a God of impossibility called Jesus Christ. He can bring back what you think was dead to life again. Have you lost your job? Lost something dear to you? Are you feeling lost without hope? There is hope for you. He can do the impossible. The amazing story of the man who Jesus raised from the dead comes to mind. It was a mind-blowing impossibility to bring Lazarus back to life. John 11, verse 17. When Jesus got to Bethany, he found out that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Martha, Lazarus' sister, had given up already. People had gathered to comfort Mary and Martha. She saw Jesus and said, "If you had come earlier, my brother would not be dead." Jesus told her, "Her brother will live." When Mary heard that Jesus was there, she went to Jesus and knelt at his feet, saying to Jesus that if he had been there, her brother would not have died. He was upset when he saw that Mary and the people were crying. They showed him where the body was buried. Some people spoke bad, saying, "He gave sight to the blind. Why could he not have kept Lazarus from dying?" This time, Jesus was upset. He asked them to roll away the stone. After the stone was rolled away, he gave thanks to the Lord. When he finished praying, he shouted, "Lazarus, come out." The man who had been dead for 4 days came out, and then Jesus told the people to untie him. Wow, what a God of impossibility. A man dead for 4 days was brought back to life by the mighty power of Jesus Christ. This is indescribable and unbelievable. God did all of these and many more to show his mighty power and saving grace. God is capable of doing it for you today. Your case is not an exception, and I speak to you today to come forth and call him to restore and give life again to that which the devil has stolen and taken away from you, and he will restore it. Peter fished all night by himself and caught nothing. But when he invited Jesus, the God of impossibility, he had a great catch, one like never before. His nets even began breaking. From this story, if you have failed or not getting the best from what you do, invite Jesus, the God of impossibility. He will remove the chances of failure and worries from the results you want. He blesses whatever he puts interest in. And if you give him all in surrender, faith, trust, hope, and belief, everything about you will be blessed and move from one impossibility to possibility. That is God. That is who he is and forever will be. Even in finances, Jesus commanded Peter to go to the sea, and the first fish he catches, he should open its mouth, and he would find money to pay their tax. It happened as he said it. Peter caught a fish, and there, the money they needed to pay tax was in the mouth of the fish. You can trust him with your financial needs and troubles. Hand the matter to him. The disciples were not worried about the money they needed to buy things or make payments because Jesus was in their midst. Is he also in your midst today? Have you handed the matter that you think is impossible to him and watch him resolve it? You can never win unless you approach him and table it to him. I do not know what you are going through, facing in life, trusting, or almost giving up. Do not give up or lose hope, trust, and belief in the God of impossibility. He did it for the men in the days of old. They walked with him and witnessed great and mighty things. Manna from above, the division of the Red Sea for the Israelites to walk on dry land, water from the rock, the wall of Jericho falling, and many more. He is very able, abundantly able to do it for you. Whatsoever it is, just believe and hold on to Him. Key into the God of impossibility. The circumstance cannot stop Him. Nothing can hold Him back from doing great and mighty things in your life. God is doing that which seems impossible to handle in your life and all that concerns you today.